Denver Radio Club. Good evening. My name is Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo, and my call sign is W0TX Whiskey Tango 0 Charlie. Welcome to the DRC Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting on the air held every Sunday evening at 8:30 p.m. The net is for Denver Radio Club members and all other interested ham radio operators. I'm your net control station tonight, transmitting from Centennial, Colorado. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is complete. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. on Google Meets and or in person. The link for Google Meets is on our website. The address is w0tx.org/meet. We hold an Elmer session at 6 o'clock p.m. just prior to the monthly meetings. The Elmer sessions address any ham radio questions you might have. Whether you are new to the hobby or interested in some new application of ham radio, you can get great advice at the Elmer sessions. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except on the Wednesday when our monthly meeting is held, the club holds a learning net on the 145.49 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz linked repeaters. The learning net is another good place where you can find answers to your ham radio questions, and it is a great net for newer hams. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication services for the Salvation Army, the City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, the City of Lakewood Police Department, the West Metro Fire District, and St. Anthony's West Hospital. We are always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. If you would like to help, please contact our club president, Kevin Schmidt, K0KPS. Kevin's email address is president@w0tx.org. The Denver Radio Club website address is w0tx.org. Visit it frequently for current club news, activities, and events. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Volunteer Examiner program. If you have a need for license testing, the DRC license testing information is posted on our website. If you have other license test information questions, please contact our VE team lead, who is Robert Pickett, K0RAP, at k0rap@w0tx.org. We are grateful to hams who belong to other radio clubs in the Denver area and who check into the net. And we also thank them for occasionally sharing VE test information for their local clubs as well. This is the Denver Radio Club net with WT0C serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now. Before regular check-ins, I would like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club net this evening. You can use either 145.49 megahertz with a minus 600 kilohertz offset, or 448.625 megahertz with a minus 5 megahertz offset, both using a 100 hertz PL tone. Are there any visiting radio amateurs that would like to check into the Denver Radio Club tonight? If so, please call now. Next, I would like to welcome any newly licensed or recently upgraded ham radio operators to check in. If that is used, or if that is you, please call now. I will now take regular check-ins in groups. Please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you after we handle club business. Please provide your call sign and first name when you check in, and as always, standard phonetics are appreciated. So let's start out first with radio amateurs whose call sign suffixes begin with the letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Kilo 0, Delta Papa Romeo, Paul in Aurora.
November Bravo 0, Bravo November, Bob in Arvada.
Whiskey Bravo 0, Alpha Kilo Victor, WB0 AKV, Rich in Westminster.
Hey, good evening to K0 DPR, Paul, NB0BN, Bob, and WB0 AKV, Rich. Thank you all for your check-ins. Any other stations, call sign suffixes A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now. Moving along, and we'll take check-ins with call sign suffixes F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, Tom Arvada, no traffic.
Nyquist.
Nick I double, K6HJV Arvada, no traffic.
Evening, Tom, K6HJV. Thanks for your check-in. There was a double. Could the other station try again, please?
Yeah, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood.
Thank you for the repeat, Ron. KF0FPI. Got you on the list. Any other stations, call sign suffixes F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now.
W0TX Repeater.
Okay, moving along, I'll now take call sign suffixes with letters starting K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo 0 Lima Papa Romeo Lanier in Inglewood.
Kilo Echo 0, Oscar Sierra India, Tom Highlands Ranch, no traffic.
Good evening, Lanier and Tom, K0LPR and KE0OSI. Thank you both for your check-ins. Any other stations, call sign suffixes K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now. Okay, next group will be call sign suffixes P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo. Stan in Denver, no traffic.
Whiskey 0, Tango, Romeo Mike, Tom in Aurora. Kilo 4, Romeo November Yankee, Ronnie and Thornton, no traffic.
Good evening to WB2SHR, Stan, W0TRM, Tom, and K4RNY, Ron. Thank you all for your check-ins. Any other stations, call sign suffixes P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now. Okay, moving on, I'll take call sign suffixes U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
Kilo Echo Zero, Yankee Kilo Victor, Bill in Lakewood.
Good evening, Bill, K0YKV, and thank you for your check-in. Any other stations, call sign suffixes U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now. Okay, I'll take the entire alphabet now. Call sign suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
Kilo 1, Delta Bravo Charlie, K1 DBC Daron. Also checking in from our YouTube live stream, Rodney, first name is Rodney, no call sign, and Dustin, Kilo 0 Bravo Fox. That's Rodney and K0BF.
Thank you, Dorada. Can you refresh my memory? What's the digit in your call sign?
No problem. The number 1, Kilo 1, Delta Bravo Charlie.
Okay, got it. Thank you for the check-in. And I also have Dustin, K0 Bravo Fox. And was there anybody else?
Rodney, Rodney, no call sign. First name Rodney.
Okay, thank you for the repeat on that, Duran. Okay, let's try one last call here. All stations, call sign suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. I think we have everybody for now. So next I'll invite our club president, Kevin, K0KPS, to discuss any club business. So Kevin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joe, for taking the net. First of all, I want to bring up that tomorrow is Memorial Day. And if you can just take a moment, tomorrow to think about those that have given their ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and stuff along those lines. Just give them a thought. And for those of you that are past military, I want to thank you for your service. You should also be acknowledged for tomorrow as being Memorial Day and a day of a holiday. So thank you for all your service and your sacrifices that you've given for our country. We appreciate it. Next, we had a club meeting on the 20th. I want to give a shout out for Whiskey Zulu 8 Tango, David, who gave a presentation on satellite communications. It was very informative. And for those of you that, I just want to remind you that if we have a hybrid event, more often than not, we have somebody in person that's giving the presentation. So you can join us at the Lakewood Police Station, for those. And also that night, we voted in a new board member, Bruce, Kilo Echo Zero, Victor Romeo, who will take over the vacated position that was opened by one of our members who had to step down because of personal and family issues and stuff along those lines. So welcome, Bruce, KE0VR, if you hear him on the air. We also had a new ham, Jeremy, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Papa Victor India, who got his license just mere hours before the club meeting. So if you hear him on the air, give a shout out and welcome him to the nets and to any of the club meetings, or hear him on the repeater. So Jeremy, we look forward to hearing you on the air. Next, a few of the club members attended the Parker Radio Association parking lot rodeo, which was held yesterday. I had the opportunity to meet several fine members of the Parker group. Got together, and there was about, I think I counted about 30 vehicles that were there for the event, and they certainly were quite friendly to the Denver Radio Club. I want to give a shout out to Tom, Kilo 0, November, India, Lima, for showing us around, introducing us to several of the members. And for those of us with the Denver Radio Club, we certainly had a good time and learned a lot of information about their club. So I want to give a shout out to the Parker Radio Association for inviting the Denver Radio Club members to join them for their event yesterday. Next club meeting will be on June 17th. I don't have the topic yet, but keep an eye out for any announcements. Hopefully we can make that a hybrid event. If not, it will be virtual. So pay attention to the W0TX.org website, or if you're on Groups.io, there should be a notice coming out about that meeting on June 17th. And finally, on June 27th and 28th, it's going to be Field Day. The Denver Radio Club will be having their annual event at Prospect Arena, which is out in Arvada. So if you don't have anything on your calendar, put down Field Day for that day. It's a good event to make eyeball QSOs with our club members and also get on the air. And if you're a technician, because we have a club call sign, you're able to get on the air also and make some HF contacts using the club call sign. So I look forward to seeing you all on the Field Day on June 27th and 28th. I'll open it up. Are there any questions or comments for the club? If so, call now. Otherwise, I will turn it back over to Net Control. And this is Kevin, Kilo 0, Kilo Papa Sierra.
Question, WB0AKV.
Go ahead, Rich.
Have we designated a field day coordinator yet this year? Over.
I believe it's going to be the same coordinator as last year. So we'll put that out for information. If you're looking at helping assist with that, we'd also appreciate any volunteers that can help, do the setup, operate, and then on Sunday also to take down equipment. So, Rich will get back with you on the coordinator, and that should be Bill Nelson.
Roger that. Thank you. WB0AKV, back to net.
Unless there's any other questions, I'll turn it back over to Net. This is Kevin, K0KPS. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate all that information. This is the Denver Radio Club Net and W0TX your net control station. Does anyone have any other further business for the net? If so, please call now. The Denver Radio Club maintains 10 repeaters serving the Denver metro area and beyond for use by all radio amateurs. A list of those repeaters, along with their offsets, tones, locations, and additional information, can be found at w0tx.org/repeaters. So before we sign off, let me give an opportunity for anyone else, any late check-ins we may have to the Denver Radio Club Net. Any stations anywhere, please call now. I'd like to thank everyone for checking in to the Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. Tonight we had 16 check-ins. The Denver Radio Club W0TX Net is now closed at 2050 local time, and the repeater is available for regular use. This is W0TX Net Control. Hope everybody has a good holiday tomorrow and a great week. 73.
This is Kilo 1, Delta Bravo Charlie. If anybody's interested in sticking around, we'll play the AR Newsline here in just a minute or two.
Hi, this is Bob, NQNR, and we're here at 2026 Dayton Hamvention.
Hi, I'm Walt Hudson, K4OGO. I'm here signing my new portable antenna sketchbook. This time we're taking it to the next level.
CQ, this is Whiskey Zero Delta Victor Oscar on 52 Simplex W0TVO.
My name is John McAuliffe, W1DRF, and we're here at the lab booth testing handheld radios and showcasing our new product review comparison tool.
I'm Josh, KE5MHD, and we're here at the Year of the Club booth, and we are spinning to win. ARRL membership is important to me for various reasons. Comes to mind would be the insurance on our equipment.
I think the ARRL is important because I want to keep all my frequency rights.
Being an ARRL member is important to me because it's the only...
This is K1DBC. Once more, we'll be playing the AR Newsline here in just a minute. If you would like to talk on our repeaters, you can go ahead and go over to the 147.330 repeater for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And then the repeater will be available for regular use after that.
Advocate we have in the government to keep our spectrum. That's a wrap. ARRL has had a...
Zero Delta Victor Oscar on 52 Simplex W0TVO.
Incredible time participating at 2026 Dayton Hamvention. We've enjoyed meeting members and the wider amateur radio community. We'll see you at the 2026 ARRL National Convention in Huntsville, Alabama at the Huntsville Hamfest. See you there in August.
I'm testing out a different radio. I must have the Simplex channel on the other on the other channel here. This is K1DBC. The AR Newsline will play in just a moment here.
Node 516228.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2534 with the release date of Friday, May 22nd, 2026. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Eris wants to put amateur radio on the moon. Girl Guides trained to become radio operators, and the South Georgia Island D expedition adds the final young operator to its team. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2534 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
Our top story this week takes us, or rather our radios, to the moon. 2 years after Japan landed the first amateur radio station on the lunar surface, Eris has announced plans to do the same in cooperation with AMSAT and with help from the U.S. Space Agency, NASA. Ken Peterson, KC0DGY, has those details.
The Morse code transmitted more than 2 years ago by JS1YMG, the lunar ham station of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, is apparently just the beginning. Attendees at a Hamvention forum hosted by Eris in Xenia, Ohio, recently learned about the moon-based project called KVR. That's an acronym for Communications, Audio, Video, and Imaging Using Amateur Radio. The feasibility of KVR is being studied by Eris and AMSAT through a partnership known as AirX for Amateur Radio Exploration. According to the early information being discussed publicly, the station could have support for voice, digital, and video, with 10 and 5 gigahertz links supported by a network of stations on Earth. More far-reaching goals can be found on the Eris website, which describes AirX as, quote, an international effort to develop and operate amateur radio systems for deep space, starting with the moon and later to Mars, end quote. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Hamvention is over, and for many, the next step is Friedrichshafen in Germany. AMSAT DL has a request for satellite enthusiasts who are planning to be there. Ed Durant, DD5LP, tells us how you can help.
AMSAT DL wants amateurs to look to the future. We're not only talking about June 27th, when the organisation will be hosting a workshop that builds on the experience of Qatar Oscar 100. AMSAT DL wants a workshop with ideas, perspectives and proposals for the upcoming ESA-sponsored geostationary satellite, which will carry an amateur radio payload. At the time that Oscar 100 was sent up into space in 2018, the Oscar number administrator, Drew Glassbrenner, KO4MA, noted on the AMSAT DL website that it would be, quote, the guiding star for future amateur radio satellites and payloads in geostationary orbit and beyond, end quote. The time has come at Friedrichshafen next month to follow that star's light. AMSAT DL will present 2 or 3 mission and payload concepts for open discussion, including a concept that builds on QO100's new directions. An experimental concept will also be presented, offering digital signal processing and software-defined payload architectures. There is a possible third option to be presented, which involves beacons and experiments in high-frequency ranges and would include new antenna concepts and space imaging. The workshop's location in the Neue Messe will be announced as the date gets closer. Meanwhile, AMSAT DL welcomes everyone with varying levels of experience. All that is required is an interest in amateur radio satellites and helping to shape their future. The AMSAT DL meeting will not be the only space-related activity at Ham Radio Friedrichshafen, as this year ASTRO, the Astronomy Trade Fair, will take place alongside the Ham Radio exhibition. This is Ed Durant, DD5LP.
Members of the amateur radio community in the New York metropolitan area are grieving the loss of a lifelong ham whose deep involvement in leadership spanned more than 5 decades. We hear about him from Daniel Garcia, W2DIY.
Jerry Abrams, WB2ZEX, was as devoted to public service as he was to his fellow amateurs during his long and active involvement with ham radio. Jerry became a silent key following a heart attack on the 28th of March. Jerry made his half-century membership with the Long Island Mobile Amateur Radio Club an active and devoted membership. His different roles included treasurer, membership chairman, and for a time, newsletter editor. He also assisted families of silent keys with clearing the contents of the shacks those hams left behind. According to the club, over the years, his effort led families to receive more than $100,000 from equipment being rehomed. The Ham Radio University Organizing Committee also knew him to be a reliable and capable member. Jerry took public service seriously, first as a member of an ambulance corps in Brooklyn, and later providing communication support for a number of Aries groups throughout New York City and on Long Island. He also provided radio support for the annual New York City Marathon. The New York Roadrunners, the group behind the race, inducted him into their Volunteer Hall of Fame in 2022 for his years of service. Jerry was 78. This is Daniel Garcia, W2DIY.
An important ham radio club trailer made its public debut this month at Hamvention in Xenia, Ohio. It had a very appreciative audience, as we hear from Kevin Trotman and 5PRE.
The Border County Amateur Radio Club in Valparaiso, Indiana, received grant funding last year from Amateur Radio Digital Communications to build a coordinated communication system with its sister club, the neighboring Ogden Dunes Fire Department Amateur Radio Club. Part of that plan involved building a communications trailer. The project also involved connecting the HF radios to an internet-based youth network as part of the outreach program. Club President Mike Lambertino, W9ML, described the original concept for the project. He told Newsline, quote, "The driving force behind the trailer is youth, STEM, and community outreach, getting the trailer out in the community and helping where we can. We do have interoperability and the alliance with the neighboring fire department to help expand our communications abilities to assist where needed," end quote. Volunteers designed and built out the trailer using significant donations and discounts on equipment and supplies since the trailer's delivery last September. Mike said the trailer received between 250 and 400 visitors. Among them were members of the ARDC community. He said the trailer drew a lot of very positive comments, especially from members of the ARDC, who said they were happy to see the results, calling it a model in which to base other trailer builds. Learn more about the club at www.k9pc.club. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
As part of our occasional series Nets of Note, we look at a newly created net based in the AWA Communications Technology Museum in upstate New York. You'd expect a group like the Antique Wireless Association, W2AN, to recommend using only vintage equipment, but that's not the case. Stephen Sykes, KT2OM, told Newsline that the single sideband net even allows modern equipment as well. The net takes place on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on 14.265 megahertz, plus or minus 5 kilohertz. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to check in. Topics for discussion are open.
Around me, and they changed all the names. I don't know where they're at anymore, but I know where Squaw Pass is at. This is James, Kilo Foxtrot Zero, Oscar Romeo, Romeo.
Club in their Caribbean nation, as we hear from Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
When the summer holidays arrive in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, many members of the Girl Guides in Georgetown will change from classroom students to amateur radio students. The ULU Amateur Radio Association has a training session planned, enabling Girl Guides and to prepare to take their ham radio license exam. For many of the Girl Guides, this will be their second encounter with amateur radio. In early May, 32 Girl Guides got their introduction to radio science and the radio experience with the help of Association President James Godrington, J88JC, and past President Don D. Riggs, J88CD. The girls learned how two-way radios work and participated in a simulated disaster drill using handheld radios within the school compound. The radio session in Georgetown was the latest the Ham Association has conducted for Girl Guides. Education is a big part of the mission behind the ULU Amateur Group, which also provides vital services in emergency communication. This is Jim Meachin, VidL2BHF.
Camp right there. Yeah.
You are almost out of time. This is the final week for sending in your nominations for the Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. You only have until the 31st of May, and it's coming up fast. Nominees must be licensed hams who are 18 years of age or younger, and they must reside in the continental United States. Visit our website, arnewsline.org, and find the nomination form under the Awards tab. Submit the documentation that tells us how your nominee has played an important role, not just in the community of fellow amateurs, but in the community at large. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the AB4KK repeater in Folkston, Georgia, on Sundays at 8:45 p.m. local time. Also on echolink, All-Star, and DMR TG. The flood that overtook part of Pennsylvania in 1889 was the kind of storm that happens only once every 1,000 years. But a special event station that remembers it is happening again this year. Travis Lisk, N3ILS, tells us what to listen for starting later this month.
The communities surrounding Johnstown, Pennsylvania, do not forget the lives that were swept away by floodwaters unleashed after the collapse of a nearby dam. The numbers speak for themselves. A rush of 20 million tons of water, fatalities numbering 2,209, among them 99 whole families. Remembering that catastrophe on the 31st of May, 137 years ago, the Cambria Radio Club, WA3WGN, will be on the air again this year with the special event call sign N3N from the 30th of May through to the 5th of June. For hams in this flood-prone river valley, it is a very personal special event activation and a sad chapter in regional history. There have been other floods since, notably in 1936 and 1977, but neither compared to this deadly moment, one that is marked now by a national memorial in the heart of the city and a special event station by amateur radio operators who know the landscape well. This is Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
An engineering student from Ireland has become the third and final young operator for next year's D-Expedition to South Georgia Island. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us about her.
Even before setting foot on South Georgia Island, the VP0 objectives. They've added Megan, EI5LA, a 19-year-old engineering student from University College Cork, as the third and final young operator. Megan joins Violetta KN2P and Leon DL3ON for next year's trip. There are now 16 operators from North America and Europe who hope to get on the air as part of this coveted DX next year. Megan, who has been a ham since 2021, is involved in the EI7M contest team and has a particular focus on high-level multi-operator events and CW contesting. She is active in Youngsters on the Air in Region 1. The team announced her addition, reaffirming its commitment to mentor the next generation of operators and encourage a robust future for the expeditions. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
In the world of DX, there is still time to work Bob, ZL1RS, who is using the call sign A35RS from Tonga Tapu, IOTA number OC049, in Tonga until the 26th of May. This is a 6-meter EMED expedition using Q65-60A in Q65 pilot mode. Bob will also be monitoring 50.313 megahertz on FT8. Rafael, SQ40, will be on the air as HF0 PAS from the Henrik Arktowski station on King George Island in the South Shetland Islands, IOTA number AN010. He is part of the 50th Polish Antarctic expedition and will be on the island from May through October. In his spare time, he will be operating on the HF bands, using single sideband and CW, and using FT8 on 6 meters. The special event station, SX1FLY, is marking 243 years of human flight by celebrating the Montgolfier brothers, who flew the first crewed hot air balloon in 1783 in France. The station is on all bands using all modes until the 31st of May. Listen for Muttley ZB2KX, operating as ZD8KX from Ascension Island, IOTA number AF003, from the 25th through the 29th of May. He will operate QRP on 40 through 10 meters using mainly CW with some single sideband and digital modes. For QSL details and other operating information, visit each station's page on QRZ.com. With the help of a retired teacher who's a veteran of quite a few roundups, that would be school club roundups, a Colorado student club is finding its voice on the air, as we hear from Ralph Squillaci, KK6 ITB.
The ARRL School Club Roundup was a way of life for Chris, W0TE, when he was teaching high school chemistry in Vermont. For half of his 40 years at the school, he also worked with students who belonged to the school's amateur radio club, K1BBS. The effort paid off big in February of 2014 in the senior high school category. Now retired, Chris lives in Colorado, where he is the education director for the Estes Valley Amateur Radio Club. He is also one of the control operators for W0EPS, a student club that got its start at the Estes Park Middle School a few years ago. One of the teachers had asked the Hams to get the kids involved in radio. Involved doesn't even begin to describe it. The young teenagers now have several ARRL school club roundups to their credit, but as Chris told Newsline, they don't really need an excuse to get on the air. In one recent week, he said, a total of 58 students in 6th through 8th grade logged 113 contacts in 29 states and 2 Canadian provinces. You can find them most of the time on 10 meters, if it's open. Otherwise, try contacting them on the 20-meter band. Chris told Newsline, quote, "The secret to getting students on the air is exactly that. Get the kids on the air. Ham radio is not a demonstration activity. It's a participation activity. Sit them down, put a mic in their hands, have them call CQ, and see what happens." End quote. What happens is deceptively simple. The kids find their way in radio, and they also find their voice. In Estes Park, they're not just waiting around for another school club roundup to make things happen, but when it does arrive, they'll be ready. Whenever they key the mic, these kids... This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB.
With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, MSAT News, MSAT DL, Eris, Chris WR0TE, David Behar, K7DB, DX World, EA1CS Blog, Eddie Misovich, KB3YRU, the 425DX News, History.com, Limark, Larry Guerrera, W2LAG, NZNet, QRZ.com, the Radio Society of Great Britain, shortwaveradio.de, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is a copyright 2026. Amateur Radio Newsline retains ownership of its material even when retransmitted elsewhere. All rights are reserved.
Information about this amateur radio, voice over IP audio news service is on the web at newsline.rfnet.link.
Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll talk to you all next time.